Alright, hey Yagaho guys, it's the second to last standard of 4th gen we're ever going to post. And we're up against Volk, who's going to be rocking a Breath of Fire themed team. Starts out with Momo from Breath of Fire 3, and we've got Clown Man with a Thunderclaw, also from a PlayStation era game. And this guy is kind of novelty. He's got Hypnosis and Baton Pass and Calm Mind and Psychic, I believe, with a Salac Bear. Just try to pass off some stuff. I am hosting on Diamond for that 70% accurate Hypnosis, but it doesn't matter because he gets put to sleep right away, so it doesn't really matter which move I picked. If you notice from the little symbol at the end of his name there, this is the beta guy. It's a little snowman, or kind of looks like a bee in a way, so yeah. That means this guy's got probably 131, and the rest of his IVs are garbage. So he's probably going to be the least useful guy to have. And we're just going to switch out into Aerodactyl. I'm not really sure why. This is probably a pretty risky switch, but it pays off. As he just sets up Reflect instead of doing something else, Double Status or Leech Seed. So I'm just going to throw up a sub, as I should be faster, and I am. And dodge a Stun Spore, which I was not really expecting, to be honest, but I will certainly take it. And so the Reflect is up, but Ice Fang has got to get a nice little critical hit animation there, and get 4 times the damage that I should have gotten, which is pretty decent considering that's a 65 base power move. You know, I've got a sub up, and this seems to be a pretty decent sub. You know, I'm definitely going to go for some more hits and see what we can do. Reflect is up, so damage is going to be mitigated, but you know, we're certainly going to be in here to keep throwing off hits. Stone Edge has that high critical hit ratio, so maybe we can crit through that Reflect again. Definitely something that could happen. I'm just going to go for some Earthquakes here, just get some safe damage off that's not going to miss. And yeah, looks like that's not going to be sufficient enough. He's going to DD up, and you know, we still got a sub, so I'm going to go for Stone Edge. Maybe it can KO. He DDs up again, which I can only assume he doesn't outspeed Jolly Aerodactyl, and thus went for the second DD. But in fact, I'm an Adamant Aerodactyl, so I guess he outsped after 1 DD. I don't know if he was expecting that or not. Anyway, so I suppose being Adamant kind of made him waste the DD, so that was kind of nice. But anyway, he is going to be faster now, and he's also going to be Resto Chesto. So I thought I had a kill, and now I do not have a kill whatsoever. However, Reflect is now off, and I'm kind of just going to hope that Stone Edge is going to KO from here, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to. If I had gone for back-to-back Stone Edges, that would have been nice, but that would have required me to Stone Edge a thing that had like 20% health, so I can't really fault myself for that, I guess. But anyway, once again, he's back to like 10-20%, I guess closer to 10% health. Low, medium red, actually. And I want to keep this guy around. He's going to get outsped right now. I've got a couple of somewhat defensive guys on this team, so but I need some switch initiative into them. So we're just going to sack off somebody here. And I already condemned him to be the least useful dude, so we're going to switch back into Mr. Mime to absorb a hit here. And fully expecting just a waterfall, as that's super effective to arrow. But he actually goes for Outrage, I guess predicting switch into something that resists water, perhaps like a Vaporeon that would be able to tank an Outrage and maybe kill with an Ice Beam. But anyway, so this is actually quite nice. Outrage is his most powerful move, but he's locked into it, so that means I'm going to get a free drop here into Shade Man, and that seal there, if you noticed, is a reference to something from a while back on this channel that some of you may notice or remember. But anyway, when I bred this guy, I bred him with an egg move that I rarely ever got to use, which was Counter. Not often used, and when it was used, it usually wasn't to very good effect. But for the first time, Shade Man's actually going to get a kill with counters. It's completely safe unless he gets a crit. You know, we're fine. And yeah, we get to counter and kill something, so I'm pretty happy about this. Good job, Shade Man. You finally got some use out of that move that I'm probably going to go ahead and delete after this match. But anyway, so sends in Jumpluff again, and I've seen 3 of its moves, and I'm not terribly threatened by it. I look at the rest of the team, and there's nothing else I really want to go asleep. You know, I'm going to burn a turn of sleep right here, obviously. And then if he wants to, you know, switch, we can burn another turn, and maybe Gliscor. You know, I'm going to be gaining leftovers through this as well, which will be nice. Maybe we can, you know, burn enough turns that if I switch him out, comes back in. He'll still be asleep, but he can wake up immediately, so he's kind of not asleep. You know, that's kind of a nice position to have your sleep fodder in. to where it's still technically asleep so that they can't put something else to sleep, but it's also gonna wake up really quick. So it sets up Reflect again, as we're, I think we're probably going for Toxic here. I believe this one's got Earthquake and Toxic. So that's probably the moves I'm going for. You know, he's got Sub or Seed at best. So, yeah, I'm just gonna try to get it Toxic, I guess would be alright. Since it likes up here is just going to do some setup and status and whatnot. And as soon as I saw Pekko, I knew by association that was going to be Breloom. I'm not going to say why I knew by association because spoilers for Breath of Fire 3. But anyway, it gets in and it wouldn't have mattered if we woke up there, as it would have been Toxic and got poisoned by Toxic Orb anyway. In fact, maybe it works out better because now he can't go for Spore. So I'm just going to drop in Beat. I know he's either going to get up a sub or throw out a Focus Punch unprotected. And either way, Beat's going to eat a Focus Punch and is going to you know, be at low hit points and then hopefully force him out. So throws up a sub, which is the correct play. And I'm just going to have to Air Slash and hit this sub and hope I outspeed, which would seem to be the case. And Focus Punch is going to come, and I'm pretty sure Beat's going to live it because Togekiss is just bulky enough. And lives it in the high red with 72. So that's really all I was asking for. Just live it somehow and break that sub. Or break that sub and then live. So anyway, the sub is broken. And I'm hoping he wants to switch out here because I'm just going to continue to go for Air Slash. You cannot mess around with Breloom. And thankfully we're able to get some damage off on this Dragonite. And that's actually a pretty decent chunk on Dragonite. That's about you know, 45%. Thinking about what I might want to do here. Obviously, we can't go for any sort of Paraflinch or anything like that since it has Inner Focus. I'm not quite sure which Togekiss this is. But if it's got Water Pulse, maybe we can outspeed. It is a speed tie and base speed. Go for that. Maybe get, I don't know, maybe get 40% on the Confusion Hacks and then have him hit himself or something like that. And, you know, maybe then follow up with an Air Slash. But, anyway, either way, we're going to stay in, see what he wants to do. You know, make sure you can't get a DD up for free, certainly. Gets a useless crit, and, you know, I'm okay with that. As now we can drop an Arrow again. I don't see Leftovers or Life Orb, though, so he could theoretically be Scarfed. And that would almost certainly outspeed since we're Adamant Aerodactyl. But, you know, we're just going to threaten off an Ice Fang here and hope that he wants to go into something or other. And we're just going to set up a sub and use some prediction, and he goes into something to resist the Ice Fang, which is Blaziken, as we set up a nice sub. So we've got Earthquake here, and I'm hoping Earthquake will kill. I don't know if it's Focus Sash. We don't really get to see anything because of hitting the sub right there. And we're just going to EQ it and hope it either kills it or brings it down to a Sash. And I believe after this, yeah, it leaves it with a little sliver of health, but we don't see a Sash activation. So that means, Arrow, you didn't freaking kill with a super effective move. Oh well. Anyway, so this guy is Sub Leechy, and it's just kind of what he does. He subs down to Leechy, and then he's kind of Choice Band Aerodactyl that can switch moves, which is, you know, alright, I guess. But anyway, so I'm running a Calc right here, and it turns out Arrow can, albeit barely, live a Vacuum Wave, and that's likely his best priority move he's going to pack, so that's what he's going to have to go for and then die. So pretty sure Arrow's going to live it, lives with 22, gets that Leechy Berry up, and we're going to be able to finish him off with an EQ. However, he actually ends up to be Life Orb, which Life Orb doesn't hurt you if you hit a sub, at least not in 4th gen. So, you know, that was some item information that he was able to conceal by hitting that sub. But anyway, I don't think it would have changed anything regardless. But anyway, here we go. We got +1 Arrow, and he sends in Jump Bluff, which is interesting. We've already established that I outspeed, so I'm just going to Ice Fang it and finish off the Jump Bluff. You know, I'm not quite sure what was going on with that. You know, it had already been established that I was faster despite being adamant. So, Jump Bluff goes down, so that's cool. Arrow kind of took down 2 guys already. And in comes Loom, and I'm at +1. It's a super effective move, but it's also 65 base power, and Breloom is at full HP or right close to it. However, Arrow beasts it out, probably only because of Adamant, and is able to take out the Loom in essentially one shot. So good job, Arrow. You took out a huge threat right there. I could have very well had Aerial Ace, although I do not, in fact. Actually, no, I could not have, because I had shown him all of my moves at that point, so never mind. Anyway, so Barabari comes in. This is the last thing that I haven't seen, and we got a super effective base 100 power move instead of 65 against Breloom. And it's going down. Looks like it's not going to be Shukaberry, but it still lives because Drapion has that much better defense than Breloom that it lives a base 100 power physical move as opposed to a base 65 physical move. So we're going to drop in a guy here. Who's it going to be? Hopefully someone who can finish up the match. It's Gutsman! And he is here to dynamic punch this thing. I don't think this thing might have bullet punch, I'm not sure, but anyway, we're just going to go for dynamic punch, get somebody confused. I don't believe there's anything Drapion can do except maybe get a Fire Fang burn, which thankfully does not happen. And leaves me with certainly enough hit points that I should be able to live anything from the ensuing Dragonite. And we got a nice Ice Punch to finish that off. So good game, Volk. It's gonna Dragon Claw is gonna come. Might kill with a crit here, but doesn't get a crit. And Ice Punch is gonna finish off the D-Knight, and that will officially be the match. So thanks for playing, Volk. Good last game for us. I think we actually had one after this where I kind of got bamboozled by a Sceptile. But anyway, looks like you know, a certain guy put in a good amount of work here, and he's going to get rewarded with some recognition in his last game.